So this is a really interesting piece of Nintendo history, and I would love to try and track down all the other games in the series to do a big video about the Nintendo Wars series in general. And actually, I didn't mention yesterday, but I do also have this as part of the Nintendo Wars series. This is Game Boy Wars Turbo, which was an entry in the series made by Hudson, and it comes in this really nice tin as well. And I cannot do anything on this shelf because it's falling down. Open that up and you get the game. And the instruction manual inside the tin, which I think is a really nice way of displaying it. That one's not very exciting, I don't know why I own that one. It might have been one of those blind box ones. There's the original Tetris, which is actually very different to the NES version. A lot of people don't know that, but it's actually a completely separate game. And there's Tetris 2, and I actually prefer Tetris 2 over Tetris 1 for the family game. And there's another Klonoa game that was on the GBA side. That is Dream Chapter Tournament, I think its English title was, Klonoa 2. Here's a homebrew game for Game Boy called Battle Kid, which is kind of like a Mega Man style action platformer. Really fun game, really challenging too. Definitely want to check out. We have Wario Land 2 on the Game Boy. Again, not really sure why I own that, but it seems to be there. Here's what I do know why I own, and it's upside down as well. This is The Front for Whom the Bell Tolls, which is a game that was made by the same team that made Zelda Link's Awakening, which is really interesting. This one is one of the Heberake games. I've got a bunch of other Heberake games as well for the Super Famicom, but this one I had to pick it up when I saw it in Mandarake and Nakano Broadway, which was one of my more expensive pickups from one time I was in Japan. It's a really cool platformer where you can swap between a bunch of different characters and they all have their own unique abilities. And I love the case that it comes in as well, it's really nice. There's Mario's Picross, and then next to that, here's my very small but very good WonderSwan collection, so let's take a look at it. So to end this part of the video, here's my WonderSwan collection, and I did do a full video about the WonderSwan and all of the games that are worth playing. If you don't know Japanese, this one's a really good puzzle game for the system, and I love the artwork on there as well. Of course, Final Fantasy for the WonderSwan, some of the best versions of the original Final Fantasy there. There's an Inuyasha game. Match to Life is a really interesting visual novel for the system. Of course, Klonoa Moonlight Museum is probably the game that most people want for the WonderSwan. Buffer's Evolution is a really cool 2D platforming speedrunning kind of game with some really interesting characters. Gunpei, obviously named after the creator of the Game Boy, Gunpei. Let's see what else we've got here. We have Mega Man and Bass, which is probably another game that a lot of people want for their WonderSwan collections. I did a full video on this in the past as well. It's actually a really good Mega Man game. There's one of the Chocobo games for the system. This one's another interesting puzzle game. And there's one more up here. This one is part of the Magical Drop series, which is really cool. And the camera's about to overheat. My voice is overheating, so that is it. So that is it for part one of my Japanese games collection. Join me in a few days' time where we'll be taking a look at hopefully the rest of the shelf here. And if you want to catch up on the previous episodes that I've done of my room tour in 2024, then click the video up there and you can see the rest of the room up until this point. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye.
Welcome to the Waverhood. With Wayfair, finding your style is fun.
Yes, when the music starts, grab any chair. Doesn't matter if it's your outdoor style or not. I'm sorry, Carl. This is me in chair form. I don't see it.
This one's perfect for you. But you love it.
I told you we should have done a pinata.
I explained it so many times.
You're not sitting.
Ross?
You need to sit down.
Wayfair, every style, every home. Everyone said to go to a traditional university, but I chose WGU. Their online RN to BSN is nationally accredited, so I know I'll be graduating from a top-notch nursing program that employers respect. Learn more at wgu.edu.
Some of Nico's spots have decent prices
Hello,
on their
last time I went to 100.
I'll transmit the info to your ID
came away
scanner.
with this magnificent stack of video games. Now, one by one, I'm going to go through this whole tower of power and play each and every one of these games. I know, a collector actually playing their video games? What kind of madness is this? Now, don't get upset If I crap on your favorite game, it's just about having a good time. It's just about first impressions. I'm only going to play each of these games for like 15 to 30 minutes each. This is not a serious analysis of any of these games. Don't be going like, give Shrek 2 a chance. It's so good. It was my childhood. That's not what this video is all about. Just quick and dirty, get in, get out, first impressions. I'm done. First thing we're going to do is start at the very top. We're going to start with the Wii. CSI. This one was actually made by Telltale, of all people, believe it or not. And there is a whole crime scene of CSI Wii games. All of them more or less appear to be like this one. It's a point-and-click detective game. You poke around, look for clues, which I found a bunch, but apparently not enough to progress anywhere. I played this game for 25 minutes, and it didn't feel like I figured much of anything out. You interrogate people, which is a little entertaining, and you can also look at items, like in Resident Evil. There's a few more areas you can go to, such as the coroner's office or a barber shop with a locked door that I never opened.
No answer.
This one seemed fine enough. I got a little more than I expected, I suppose. You have enough evidence?
Not really.
Well, the best thing you can do is to get him to volunteer to come in. So I'm about to play Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, and why would I even buy this? I've never seen the movies. I've never even ridden the ride. The opening cutscene is so fucking long, and it's all in Legalese, meaning that nobody speaks. It goes on for about 4 minutes, which I guess in the grand scheme of things isn't much, but I got a whole stack to get through, so let's get to the darn point. First thing you do is fight Jack Sparrow, which is weird because I thought he was the main character. But I don't know, I've only seen epic movies, so all of my Pirates of the Caribbean knowledge comes from that. As for what you're doing, it's a Lego game. If you've played one, you've played them all. Light puzzles, combat that doesn't really matter because you have unlimited lives. The game was a little rougher than I would have expected on me. You can tell this was made with more powerful consoles in mind, but this version still plays well. It requires a nunchuck, which can be slightly annoying, but it's Lego. It's a solid game. Next up is Common Rider. A couple of you in the comments were right on the fucking fault of this one because you called it out by name, and holy shit, this game is actually awesome. I don't know what media franchise this is based on, I've never even heard of it, but it seems cool. This is a one-on-one fighting game, which I normally don't care about, but I had a fucking blast with this one. The specials were kind of crazy. It felt surprisingly decent playing a fighting game with a Wiimote and nunchuck. They didn't mess it up by incorporating unnecessary waggle or anything. It felt good to hit things. The graphics and animation are on point, despite all the characters looking similar-ish. They all felt different to fight against, at least. I like this one so much that I actually managed to finish the arcade mode on normal difficulty. And yeah, the music slaps too. And you know, speaking of fighting games, we got Super Smash Bros. This is the Wii game to end all Wii games. Some people grew up with Melee, but I grew up with Brawl. This game really did my Wii, and I probably have lifetime 8,000 hours in it. Don't get me wrong, I still suck. That's no flex. I'm not saying I'm good at the game, as this level 9 pitch showed me. But I played it non-stop. In terms of overall content, Brawl is still pound for pound the most impressive Smash Bros. Game. You got Subspace Emissary, one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time, that stupid coin game, home run contest. It sucks I'm not playing on my childhood Wii because nothing is unlocked. Smash